Well, as we've mentioned earlier, in his address last night, President Cyril Ramaphosa announced that the country will move to alert level 2 of the lockdown. This means the country will see relaxation of several coronavirus lockdown regulations, and much of his speech focused on government's vaccine rollout program. For reaction, we're now joined by Cosatu National Spokesperson Sizwe Pamla. Mr. Pamla, very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the agenda. What's Cosatu's reaction to the President's address last night?
Well, we do welcome the President's address. We are very happy that now we are going to avoid a fourth wave. The reality is that there are many jobs at stake. There are sectors that have been better downs. So we are hoping that going to two, all South Africans will cooperate. Alcohol will consume it responsibly to ensure that we don't see a situation where the sector has been shut out again. At the same time, we encourage South Africans to make sure that we need as a country.
Well, Sizwe, the President touched on vaccine passports as well. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, we still retain our position. It's a reckless idea as far as we are concerned. We understand frustration coming from government. We are all frustrated. We would like to see more people vaccinating, but we just feel that government is not focusing on what needs to be done. We are all supposed to be collectively working together to encourage people to vaccinate, rather than really to focus on intimidating and punishing people. At the end of the day, South Africans deserve to be serviced by their government. So if you say people are going to given IDs and this will allow them access or deny them access, what does that mean? Does that mean that some citizens are going to be categorized as second-class citizens because of their views on vaccines? Hopefully, sanity will prevail. We all should be focusing on encouraging people to vaccinate. It's a good thing. Vaccinate, and we need to make sure that instead of coercing people, we engage them.
Well, indications are pointing to the fact that we might be headed to, towards the mandatory vaccination route, and there are still those who are still doubtful. I mean, they've got their own personal reasons why they won't vaccinate, and no one can and should take them to task for that. I mean, just judging from the President's, sentiments late last year that no one will be forced to vaccinate. And there's been insinuations by some companies that at some point they will start forcing people to vaccinate, and those who do not vaccinate and who do not want to vaccinate will be forced to take, unpaid leave. So this is not only a health matter, it's not an individual matter, but it becomes a labor issue as well.
Which is why I was saying that it's not helpful for government to open this Pandora's box. Because what is going to happen is that you are going to allow individuals to do as they please, because they will be following what government is doing. The reality is that people are frustrated. It's understandable. But we are a democrat, and we signed up to be a democrat. It's frustrating at times because people have a right to say no. And it doesn't mean that because those people disagree with the vaccine, then they need to be denied the right and a leave or to be punished for that. So this is really a test. It can't be that every time we are faced with a hurdle of this magnitude, our government and the private sector, they summon for the apartheid group just looking for shortcuts. The reality is that it's just frustrating. We all at the workplace level are doing everything to engage our members by encouraging workers. But people have a right to say no. We have a constitution that says under people have a right to body, which means the employers themselves not own their employees. You can encourage people, you can negotiate with them, but you don't own them. You can't impose any decision on your employees, especially a decision as big as taking vaccine.
Now, Sizwe, you just said that you encourage all workers and employees to get vaccinated. Well, I'm not sure whether that's your personal view or the position taken by Cosatu. So, for argument's sake, in the event that the government does indeed impose mandatory vaccinations on every citizen of this country, and it so happens that there are still those employees who don't want to get vaccinated for personal reasons. So will Cosatu come in their defense? Will Cosatu protect them? I mean, put simply, is there a plan in place to ensure that should that happen, then employees' rights are protected at all times?
Well, firstly, to just clarify you, the position we're talking about is the position of the Federation. Cosatu and these all affiliated unions have made it very clear that we support vaccination, and we're encouraging our own members to take the vaccine. Look, the only reason why unions exist is to protect their members. We're not going to allow our members to be victimized, which is why we're saying to government, we hope that sanity will prevail. We hope that we can all collectively work together to encourage people to embrace it. But as soon as people start to misuse their powers and start to implement a mandate that they do not have, because government doesn't have a mandate of South Africa for this position that they are adopting. In the private sector itself, there are no laws in South Africa that forces employees to vaccinate. So we hope we can all sit around the table, find a common position and work together. But if push comes to shove, of course, we'll have to defend our members. That is the sole responsibility of unions, to defend workers from government and employer abuse.
All right, Sizwe Pamla, National Spokesperson for Cosatu, joining us via Skype. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.